In between the slingshots of F1 cars, one name stands out like a flash of lightning on the racetrack: Daniel Ricciardo. With a smile as infectious as his driving style is audacious, Ricciardo has carved his name into the annals of motorsport history as both a fierce competitor and a fan favorite. Ricciardo's rise to the top ranks of Formula One is a monument to his uncompromising tenacity and inherent talent. He hails from the sun-kissed coasts of Australia and has walked through the corners of adversity like a genuine racing maestro, overtaking problems with the same skill he demonstrates while handling hairpin bends. But wait, why are we describing his presence? Do you think there's a need to do that? Yuki Tsunoda knows better. But don't let that beaming grin fool you. Behind the perfect smile lies a tenacious racer who fearlessly battles wheel to wheel, exploiting gaps that mere mortals wouldn't dare to consider. Whether it's his artful late braking or his ability to pull off audacious overtakes seemingly out of thin air, Ricciardo's prowess on the track is a masterclass in controlled chaos. Come, sit back and let's delve into the controversy of Daniel Ricciardo, a modern-day gladiator who transforms ordinary circuits into his own canvas, making racers fearful. Without any further ado, let's begin. For the first 10 rounds of the season, the focus at AlphaTauri was on full-time rookie Nyck de Vries and his problems adjusting to F1, which garnered criticism from Red Bull bosses Christian Horner and Helmut Marko. The FIA Formula 2 and Formula E champion was fired after Silverstone and was replaced by 8-time Grand Prix winner Ricciardo. When the Australian returned to Hungary, he said it felt like, "I had just won a world championship." When asked if he believed he had flown under the radar, Tsunoda acknowledged it was challenging. Daniel Ricciardo has returned to the Formula One grid with junior outfit AlphaTauri, replacing Nyck de Vries and putting Red Bull's Sergio Perez under great pressure to improve his record. It's a surprising turn of events given Ricciardo's long-held desire to take the entire year off. It was also another chapter in Red Bull's history of extraordinarily severe driver decisions, with de Vries let go just 10 races into his first season with the team, thereby ending his F1 ambitions for the time being. Where does all this take us to? Are we going to see something more promising and interesting? Stay tuned to check out. Tsunoda said that the experience of competing with Ricciardo had taught him a lot, even if the ex-McLaren, Renault and Red Bull drivers' return had increased the strain, resulting in a few blunders. "It's difficult," he said, "but at the same time I recognize that this current position is utterly unfamiliar to me. I'm learning a lot, especially because I'm being challenged by a more experienced driver. And he's not just an experienced driver, he's a top driver, and we know he's quick." Tsunoda said Ricciardo's behavior in the team was almost the polar opposite of mine, but he was ready to confront him in the second half of the season. "I already know he's fast, but his behavior in the team is probably the polar opposite of mine," Tsunoda remarked. "So there's a lot to learn from him. It's also a bit of pressure on me, which maybe caused me to rush and make several mistakes in the last couple of races. But in the last race I was able to put it all together. It was not an easy task, but I'm just thrilled and eager to fight him in the second half of the season." Yuki's experience and mistakes easily explain Ricciardo's prominence in the game. What he has is something all the teams want. Let's have a look at where it all started. Ricciardo was signed by McLaren as a replacement for the Scuderia-bound Carlos Sainz Jr. as part of the pre-season driver merry-go-round caused by Ferrari's decision not to retain Sebastian Vettel for 2021. When Ricciardo's decision was first made, Abiteboul expressed his displeasure with it. Abiteboul said in a statement confirming Ricciardo's departure, "Reciprocated confidence, unity and commitment are, more than ever, critical values for a works team." After the 2022 season, Daniel Ricciardo and the McLaren Racing Formula One team parted ways. Despite having a year left on his contract, Ricciardo's frustrating lack of performance at McLaren had put him on the hot seat for months. With McLaren signing numerous prospects for his seat, it seemed clear Ricciardo would be leaving in 2023. Ricciardo stated that several months of discussions led to this point, resulting in a mutual decision to end his contract a year early. The 33-year-old Australian stated that he will reveal his next F1 team in due course, but that he intends to stay in the sport. Ricciardo spent 2 years at Renault, after leaving Red Bull in the wake of Max Verstappen's development before joining the increasingly competitive McLaren squad at the start of last season. Ricciardo won a race in 2021, but his time at McLaren has been generally disappointing. Though McLaren's overall performance has declined this season, he has been much surpassed by teammate Lando Norris. Ricciardo has only finished in the points 4 times in 13 races and is currently second in the standings to one of the Haas F1 team drivers, Kevin Magnussen. Nonetheless, Ricciardo remains one of the world's most popular racing drivers due to his upbeat demeanor, sense of humor, and continuous grins. This was when he was believed to be leaving the F1 industry, but it was not his end. He was just taking a step back and waiting for the right time to attack. Inspiring, isn't it? While Ricciardo was initially opposed to racing in 2023, it is believed that his position evolved over the Silverstone weekend as the reality of the De Vries issue became clear. While De Vries was initially given, he had until his home race in Zandvoort in August to turn things around. That soon changed to the Austria-Silverstone leg of the events. A decision had to be made all of a sudden. If Ricciardo sticks to his guns about waiting until 2024, he risks Red Bull junior Liam Lawson coming in, doing a wonderful job, and grabbing that seat in the long run. Ricciardo and those close to him have always known that Red Bull will never promote him directly to the top team. It was AlphaTauri, or bust for the Australian, who told ESPN last month that the fairy tale ending to his career would be a return to Red Bull. Ricciardo sees this as part of a lengthy strategy that will culminate in that mythical move back to Red Bull. Furthermore, while preparing for the Silverstone test, Ricciardo realized how eager he was to get back into an F1 cockpit. In contrast to what had happened in his career, one thing that never left his side was his skills to ruin every racer out there. His prominence had a deep impact on the young Yuki Tsunoda. Anyways, the end turns out to be better for him, as he explained he's getting to learn much more from his teammate. Tsunoda started the season with 5 straight 11th place results. However, that run was cut short by a mistake on a wet track in Monaco, and a week later at the Spanish Grand Prix, he believes a penalty he received that lost him 8th place interrupted his rhythm. Consistency was key, especially last year, so I could improve, he added. I was happy in the early races and I knew why. I was slightly in my comfort zone and had a rhythm. Following Barcelona, there were 2 races in which I, unfortunately, lost points. I've been losing my rhythm since then. I recognize how much I still need to work on. SPA was back to the same or similar shape I had at the start of the season, so satisfied, and continue to improve. With this, we come to the end of today's ride. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you really did give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to us. This is F1 Race Day, signing off.